Hi guys, welcome to another video. And this video it's about masking, and also it's about not being able to mask. It's a complex area, just like the spectrum of autism is complex, isn't it? I appreciate the autistics that can highly mask, because it's not my strong point. That's why I talk about autism in the middle, is because with my autism, I am not able to pretend and succeed at pretending to be neurotypical. So when I go out there, it's like I'm a toddler going, you can't see me. You can't, no you can't. No, you cannot see me. You're lying. That's my brain. That's how simple my brain is. I am not going to be shamed about that. People have tried to do that my whole life. I'm 51, still the same person. So it doesn't work to shame someone out of a behaviour that is developmental and there. Anyway, that's the neurotypicals for you. Oh, behaviour Z is exhibited. Let's put it in the DSM-5. Now we have all these disorders. It's like, next time it's going to be like, don't breathe. No, they're an overbreather, DSM-5. Here's the drug for that. Yeah, you breathe too much. Didn't know that was a disorder. No, it is. Like the DSM-6. And blowing your nose excessively. Terrible, terrible infliction. So just remember, keep it balanced, okay, with this DSM thing. All right? It can go too far. I think it has already gone too far with the DSM-5. It's like, we should have left it at the 4. Yeah, there might be some things that I think, yes, had to change, but there's a lot of things, really, that were think more about the things that were added in. It's like, no, that's not a problem. That's not that person's problem. That's society's problem. There's many of them out there. Leave them be. Like, you're picking on the wrong end of the stick. Okay, if you think that something's harming them, it's most likely society's creation, like social media. Okay, so be kind to yourself. Anyway, yes, I am someone who thought I was masking. So when I talk about masking, can I just mention something that is really a big deal, not to sort of mention when I was mentioning it, because I would hate to think that people go out there and fail and go, she's such a liar. She's such a liar. It did not work. It might not work for you. There are some of us that go out there and we try a little too hard and they go, are you right? Are you right there? And you're like, they can see me, can't they? They can see me, can't they? Oh, damn, they can see me. No, I'm not okay, actually. I want to go home and I want to block out all this noise, and that smell over there is really getting to me, and my legs are hurting and I can't switch off to that, and I'm trying to count and I've dyscalculia and I can't do all these things, and I want to cry and I want to go home, but I want to be a good worker because I'm a perfectionist. I have OCD as well, so I'm conflicted. And then we go and eat lunch in our car and cry. We also get bullied. But grown adults. I'm not talking about bullying for children. This is grown adults of all age groups. I've had a great experience in the workplace. I don't deny that you shouldn't get out of working just because you have autism. In some capacity, everyone can, even if it's vacation care. That's working. That person is working. They are learning. That's hard work. Whatever it is hard for them is hard. We must remember that. We're all different. But we're all busting our butts. Well, if you're not, You need to start to stop being lazy and just being autistic and just flittering around. You must have purpose. And that is a trap that autistics can fall into, is not having a purpose. And I'm not noticing it in many generations, but the young generation, it is concerning. There's a few that just get left behind. And I don't think the parents make the right decisions. You've got to keep them active, but in the safe places for them, wherever their level is. But they must be participating out of the family. Even though I know that you're going to be very protective. I've got an autistic son, very protective, mama bear, punch in the face, yeah, hard. I don't care, Jesus. It's my son, okay? Yeah, I get real, I'm terrible. I just have that instinct. It's probably a little bit too strong. Yeah. Anyway, anyone hurts my sons, you listen out there. Mafia bitch here? Not really. I couldn't hurt a fly. But don't mess with my kids. They're grown men. They're 29, 31. But don't mess with my sons, okay? Or my grandchildren. Or you know what? I will find you. I will hunt you. I will stalk you. And I will hurt you in 5,000 ways. I won't Google search it because that's too obvious. But I will find my sources. Anyway, let's get out of mama bear mode. Whew. I don't know where that came from. Maybe there's a... Do you know something? Can I just say something? And I want to know if other mothers have this, because it's kind of creepy. This is such a Catholic thing to talk about. Oh my goodness. I get a pulling in my womb. And the thought of which kid it is, and it's like, oh, it's this one, oh, it's this one, oh, it's mainly this one, but a little bit of this one, oh, and then something happens and you go, I knew it, I felt it. I swear when my kids, even when they're not in my sight, they're grown men, when they're having a really hard time, I feel it. I swear I do. Because it's just happened too many times. And now I tell Sir, I'm like, right, I had the pulling and it's this one. I'll be right. You'll find out. And it always was happening in that pattern. He's like, yeah, I think I believe you now. I don't think he believed in that stuff before. Women's intuition, you know. I think there's a bit more to it though. It's got to be. It literally is like a womb. Ugh. Like a, oh geez, something's hurting my kid. Anyway, moving on to failing at unmasking. If you are failing at your unmasking, so you're masking, you think I'm doing it. Woohoo! Don't do that in photos too often too, okay? It's if that's a trap. That doesn't make us look normal. Been there, done that. And this, not a good speech tool. Gets a bit old. Saying a lot is not good either. So, I just want to say that let's play the who's the asshole game. If you are struggling with your masking to the point where you're still getting bullied, you're still getting told you're weird, why do you have to eat that lunch all the time? My gosh, can't you just try something different? And you're just like, I have been waiting all shift to get to this lunch. This is the best part of my day, and you're ruining it right now. It's the sensory thing. I'm in my bubble, and I'm out of the noise of my work. I just want to eat my lunch. It's the same, and that's what makes me happy too. Very big part of it. And then we have to have these discussions of, why don't you try some this and some that? And it's like, now you're putting me off my food. Anyway, if you're failing at the mask and you get picked on anyway, and in fact bullied by grown adults, and you do report it because you're autistic and it's the rules. Manager, she's being mean. like repetitively. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it's difficult. But guys, this is like for 6 months straight before I'd say something. I always get, and then after 6 months, I'm like, stop, like, enough, had it now, stop it. Because I don't like to be like bullied. I get to that point where the self-righteousness is like, enough. This person is not behaving very godly like. Anyway, I now understand that people choose how they behave, so don't worry about that. That's what you're going to have to learn too. But what I want to talk about is it doesn't matter about them. Trust me, people that are nasty, here I am using it, people that are nasty will get their own. It is not for you to create. It is not for you to go and attack. It is not for you to just let them just like screw themselves over, which they will. Mean people always do. Mean people are that, and they take that wherever they go. You don't need to go, that person's mean. Others will work it out. What you need to do is say, well, obviously this isn't the right workplace for me, and try somewhere else. But if you're in the middle like I am, you may never find a place for you out there. And it's because you're in the middle. You're not high functioning enough to put that mask on, and I know that that's hard, guys. I'm not saying that you high functioning ones have it easier because you can put that mask on and no one would even know unless you tell them. I get that. But then there's like the lower end where people tell straight away and there's empathy straight away. And I'm not, once again, I am stereotyping. That is happening most of the time, but I do understand that there's some real asshole people that judge and are nasty and need a high five with a brick to the face. I'm joking. I don't condone violence. Gotta be careful what you say on the internet these days. You never know what might happen. I'm just saying, it is difficult being in the middle where you can cope, you can do certain things, but then there's other things that you cannot. And it's a lonely existence because everybody hates you. Because you're the first person to point out their flaws. And not in a way of judgment, in a way of just, let's just be the best business ever. And everyone's not in on that. They're like, I'm just going to do what I'm doing to get by. I just need to get my paycheck. I'm like, but this is cool. This job is cool. This is cool. No? Okay. So sometimes wanting to do a good job is actually what makes you the target. And us autistics get hyper-focused. So the only way to executively function is to be hyper-focused. Force ourselves into the hyper-focus. Choose jobs where the hyper-focus is like happy. But then that's what makes us a target. And there's a lot of social involved in jobs. Small talk. And it shows. Different personalities. And it's not that that's bad. It's just that you've got to get to know them. It's like, okay, you're one of those personality types. Okay, so that's how you communicate. Okay, so to communicate to you, I need to adjust myself to communicate to you. No one ever does that for us, but we all know about that. We all know about the neurotypical disorder. They don't work out how to communicate to us. There's been empirical science done on this. They played Chinese whispers with neurotypicals and autistics and got perfect scores. Mix them up. Everyone failed. Okay? So there's a thing. There's a brain difference thing. But it is a disorder and it is disabling to everyone. But some can fake it. But I can't speak for them. They have their own traumas and their own stresses with having to be that. But I can talk about in the middle where people are literally, they'll say it to your face. You're stupid. And let me say this again. 2000s. You're stupid. A grown woman, to me, a grown woman, you're stupid. Is that the work conditions you think are acceptable for anyone to be in? And I put up with it and I put up with it. I just ignore it and just ignore it. I'd have customers going, oh my God, I'm going to speak to the manager. And I'm just like, please don't. It's just going to make it worse. Because they do, don't they? The bullies just get worse. It's like, no, please no, no. Oh, and the manager comes walking up and it's like, great. And the abuse would get worse. And, you know, it was really difficult for me in jobs because it was obvious that I was different. It was obvious that something was wrong. I was so unaware of things to the point where I would be talking and then everyone would start laughing and I would not know what's going on and they would not fill me in on what was going on. And I don't have the ability to assess that situation, and I didn't have a support person with me. So to all those people that think that high-functioning autistics should just get on with shit and stop complaining, that's not coping. That's not getting on with shit and doing great. That's extreme failure. And for some who, and I'm not judging, we're all got our different strengths. I'm used to being bullied. My mum said it to me all the time. Well, if I don't bully you, then you're never going to get used to the real world. My first bully was my mum. It's how she thought to parent. It's what she believed to be the right thing to do. I'm not going to judge. I'm just not going to judge. I didn't do that with my children. But that's just how she parented. Well, if someone's going to get you used to being tough to the world, I'm going to teach you. So if I came home and said, you know, oh, I got bullied somewhere at high school or whatever year it might have been, what'd you do? And so I'd internalize it. Didn't talk about my problems in high school. Whereas primary school, I could not filter anything. It was just blah, blah, blah as soon as I got home. Being a selective mute, you get to a safe place, clothes are off, snacks in my hand. I've got stories to tell. Sound like play school. Anyway, most of the time, I'd have a meltdown throughout my primary school years because I did not cope, because I was yelled at on a daily basis for not talking. I was told I was stupid, a waste of space, retarded. This is in public schooling in Australia, in my generation. I didn't mask as a kid or a teenager because I didn't know how. As a teenager, at a certain stage, I started to learn to try and mask, and I failed. But I'm there thinking, oh, I'm doing such a great job. Why is everyone bullying me? Because I'm an easy target. I don't see the cues of dislike, don't want to hear what you have to say, so I can't then manage my behaviours and change. Okay, I need to shut up, because I'm happy to, but if I don't realise the other person doesn't want to receive it, can you see how that can go really bad? They think I'm just being a rude neurotypical, and it's like, I have no idea. It's like, I get told off if I don't speak, and if I speak, it's like, shut the fuck up. It's very hard to think about. And I think we need more compassion for the so-called speaking autistics for this reason. You don't know our experience. You don't know what we've gone through. And I think that's why I don't like TV productions like Love on the Spectrum, which show a very small group of rich kids who are spoiled and not made accountable to go to jobs, to go to college, to go and get education or vocation care or anything. I'm sorry, that is not reality. That is pamperedness. That is not every other autistic's experience, and we must start to speak of that. And I urge Love on the Spectrum, being Australian, hello, that you lost that truth when you went overseas. And I think you need to represent autism for what it really is. It's a bag of shit. And I know that we all look at the benefits and the plus sides of our autism, but let's just stop acting like it's just perfection every day and fairy tales and rainbows. It's not. It's a genuine hard thing where your family members don't always accept you. Your friends don't always accept you because they're normally just using you for a specific thing, and then when they're done with you, they get rid of you because you are disposable, because you're autistic, easy to manipulate and use and discard. That's our job. That's why none of us have friends, because we can't discern between who's a good friend, who's a bad friend. By the time we work out they're a bad friend, it's too late. Then because we can be our own best friend, we're like, fuck having friends. Seems yucky to me. And I don't blame anyone. Because you know what, when you get to your 50s anyway, you don't really care too much for friends. It's like, it's not that you don't care about people. Not at all. It's just, you've been there, done that, you're exhausted. Okay, every stage, look at human development, look at adult development. It's all there, okay? There's stages we all go through. Look it up, look what stage you're at, and just ease up on yourself. Because if you have tried to mask and you failed, you're not alone. And the hardest thing of all is getting that acknowledgement that, no, when you go out there and you speak and you get that job, doesn't mean it works out. And none of that gets outed. You know why? Because the bad actors in this, your bullies, are never going to admit, oh yes, I can see that vulnerability and I've zoned in on it and I've just gone like poke, 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 and I've made her get very upset. It's taken me 6 months. I must admit, I'll give myself a pat on the back. I can take 6 months of bullying. Isn't that sad? I've actually calculated throughout my life, how long can I put up with this game type thing, just to kind of focus on something else rather than what's happening to me. And being a girl, it's even harder. And if I'm wrong, boys, tell me. I'll happily reevaluate that. But being an autistic girl is harder. Because neurotypical girls are brutal. Brutal. If they want you sacked, they will get you sacked. And they know the sophisticated social dynamics to do so. Now, I've never been sacked, but I've always quit. And in fact, I've always been supported by every manager of quitting, because they're like, yeah, these girls are being bitches to you. I'm like, yeah. Now, I didn't have the name at the time, but it wasn't long after my last job I did have the name for it. And I want you to I want you to know that this shows that having this autism awareness for you guys now is good, so much better. If I could have just sat down and said, I'm autistic, so I can do this, but I just need a few accommodations. I just don't want to socialize with these women. I just don't. I just want to do my job and go home. But it's never that simple when you're a woman at work. And I think that's sad, because we keep berating people for not going into employment, but yet when they do, this is how they get treated. So if you have special needs and you've been bullied in the workplace, shame on that workplace, nothing wrong with you. Good on you for trying to do an honest job. And doesn't it build your character? I can vouch for that. I don't regret those negative experiences when I look back, because it gave me character. It made me realize that I'm not always going to be liked, that I'm not perfect, that obviously I do have a struggle, not just as a kid, which I thought I'd outgrown and was hiding and succeeding. I wasn't, at home or at work. So autism in the middle is actually a really hard place to be, because people want to shame you because you're a chronological age and what you don't know socially. They seem to focus on everything I do, these neurotypical people around me. And I don't get it personally. I don't look at the world the same way some people do. I notice some people look at the world and they're like, oh, I'm judging how you make that cup of coffee. And I'm thinking, oh my God, here I am. I'm just dreaming of, in Greece, it was so good at the beach that day. I'm thinking of some kind of episodic memory. I'm in La La Land. I'm thinking, why do you care so much about what other people are doing? And that's my superpower. I worry about what I'm doing. I live in the moment, and I love that. Because I wouldn't want to be 51. And I'm not saying, once again, stereotyping here, I wouldn't want to be a bitter bitch in my middle age. No. And I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad that I accept who I am. I love being in my 50s because you don't get the looks. You ladies know what I mean. You just feel, just chill. So you just don't get those stares. It's like, anyway, if you're autistic and you're a young autistic and people's eyeballs and you don't like the eyeballs, it's great when you get 40s, 50s. Woo! They disappear. But yeah, I just find that our struggle is so invisible. We internalize it. Unless we have good parents, good family, a lot of this doesn't get spoken about. Definitely not online, not that I've seen. But the struggle, because of the developmental delays involved in most of us with autism, and intellectual developmental delays that are involved in autism, are real. And they don't just stop at childhood. They don't just be a problem at childhood. You wouldn't know it, but I'm meant to be under guardianship, even though I'm an adult. Not everyone is what you think they are. You can never tell, unless you're a diagnostic autistic specialist of some kind. You don't know how we function, how we feel inside, and how we experience the world. And I think it's time for neurotypicals to sit down, shut up, and let the autistics speak for themselves. I think that's a good idea. Because, and it's kind of sad for me to say that. I actually feel very sad saying that, because there's some really good parents out there that really get it and represent it perfectly. Perfectly. They treat their child perfectly with the autism involved. And I take my hat off to that, because once again, it's not the common, unfortunately. A lot of families, mine is one of them, that disability, handicap is not accepted. it's you're bringing the family shame, because they see it as a reflection on their parenting, and that's how you're treated. You're making me look bad. Stop. And so you just, and when I see photos of me as a child with such a, not when I was young, but as I got older as a child, the nothingness on my face spooks me. Because even though I wasn't always smiling at the camera, most of the time I was smiling, but not at the camera. But I was always happy. I was a very overly enthusiastic, happy child. I was a lot. I was like, yeah, take away anything that can keep her up tonight. Like, she's just lower the sugar. This kid's just bouncing off the wall. Whoa, she won't stop moving. Now she's doing backflips in the lounge room, cartwheels. Let's just stop this. And I'm like, this is fun. The world was just one big playground. I would even go in the buffets of my grandfather's, take out all his newspapers, hop in there, close the thing, boo, and my pa would laugh, and so I kept doing it. Kind of ridiculous, but that's kind of how small I was too, actually. Very small. And then I'd jump in his chair when he went to the kitchen, because he had his favourite chair. Oh, he's not autistic at all. Mechanical engineer. Rigid. Rules. That's a rule. Pa, it's not a rule. It's your rule. Autistic. Okay? I used to jump in his chair when he goes to the kitchen. Sit there like this. Wait for him to come back. He'd come back and he's like, 1, 2, and I'm like laughing my head off. But by 3 I was off, because it's his chair. He's serious. He was very serious. No, he wasn't a very serious person. Very, very much a jokester. Grew up in Scotland, so very much a jokester, but don't mess with his chair. I had another uncle, used to bend a little bit of the fork up at the end, and I'd pick up a fork to set the table. That's Andrew's fork. Oh, okay. He's got his own fork. Not autistic. And then I've got another uncle who likes to do the marching for Air Force. Not autistic at all. It's not autistic at all. Absolutely. So many autistics in my family. It's like, in my genetics, it actually was red. They have red, amber, and green. Okay, red on both sides of my fam. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so unmasking. It is difficult more now in society than I think previous societies where things were a bit more relaxed. Yes, people worked hard, but things were more relaxed. I think these days there's just too much judgment. And I will vouch for this as a person that has known an era before internet and after internet. Everyone is more judgy since Facebook. That was the first social... I know there's been other ones, but I'm saying the one that took on everybody in the whole world was Facebook. And since Facebook, everyone's judgmental and judgy more than I've ever seen in my life. Before, people used to just walk past each other in the street and not even care. It was beautiful. And then Facebook came along. And now everyone's like, yeah, what's with you? Yeah. How many friends have you got on Facebook? It's like, are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? Are you on like Snapchat? And I'm just like, oh, no, I'm one app at a time. Back in the day before YouTube, and I've been with YouTube a long time, I had Facebook. Facebook's exhausting. Anyway, I got rid of that happily. It's exhausting, but that was my first social media, and I'm just saying, people are more judgmental. So if you're having a hard time now, it is because it is harder on you now. than what it was on the older autistics. They could hide it more because there was less of that hyper focus on everybody. We're not heading the right direction at all. It's just more and more judgy and judgy and judgy and judgy. And I think that that's why even media is bad. I don't watch mainstream media personally. I just don't. I like to just go where my brain says I want to learn about this, or I want to watch something about this, or I find, yeah, like I'll hear everyone go, oh my gosh, haven't you heard about all this stuff? And I'm like, oh really? No. Because what difference is it going to make? Same shit every day. People hurting other people. I don't want to hear it every day. I pray for people anyway. I don't need to know what's going on. It's the same stuff all the time. The violence. It's terrible. There's no point in me watching that, seeing that. And so I also don't like the programming, I guess, which is what it is. And I know that social media is just, like media, is just toxic and sends you in one way. I mean, how many, and I want you to truly, I know this is hard because we're all sinners, right? How many are watching shows to laugh at others, like Hunger Games, to watch the demise of Married at First Sight, Love Island? It's not cool, guys. It's mass bullying. It's just, have you heard about all these members that have gone on these shows and the after effects that they've suffered? You're only looking at the highlight of the top it boy or girl that might hit off on social media and actually have a good sentiment behind them that's been given by the public. And then you've got people over the other side, the majority, who can't get jobs because of the shows, or their mental health declines, they get bullied online. Yeah, that's the majority. And if you're laughing at them at home, guys, it's mass bullying. It's not cool. So I want you autistics to realize that's what the neurotypicals do. And they think it's hilarious, right? Be proud of yourself, because I know a lot of autistics, the empathy we have is quite big, quite strong. We just don't know how to express it. Like, I hate that. You know, someone says, oh, you know, oh, my brother died. And it's like, oh, that's terrible. And I'm like, make sad face, make sad face. I don't know how to. I have the empathy. I want to cry. I normally do cry. But it's like, oh. It's like, I don't know what to. Are you okay? I don't know what to do. But I feel it. And most autistics are like that. We just don't know how to convey it, right? But just think about that when you watch reality TV. And I think it goes for the same thing with YouTubers is, you know, people need to, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. I don't care if the person is absolutely, in your eyes, terrible. Too bad, so sad. They have to exist too. Unless they're breaching, you know, the guidelines of the platform, or they're breaking any laws and they're committing crimes, of course. Otherwise, just, and even that, like, that's for the law to do, it's not for you. Are you judge and jury? Basically, I just think, yeah, it's something to think about. And I think that autistics, instead of going out there and trying to mask, whether you succeed or whether you don't, is just as painful, right? I just want to say, I see a lot of you online doing certain types of channels because you got lots of good input to say, but sometimes it just crosses that line, sadly, where it doesn't do autism justice. In fact, it sets it back. Just like Trump's trying to set it back 20 years, you know, it's like, oh my goodness. It's genetics, dude. Look at the genetic research. It's way bigger. I mean, it's almost like saying, like, oh, you're drinking water, the kid's going to have autism. It's a genetic thing. And I'm just the person that's like, you don't get to choose your child. God gives you that for whatever reason. And I think that if we don't be like that as a society, what kind of humanity are we? Because imagine if it was you that was disabled and they go, we don't want you. Off with her head. So keep doing your best. You are worthy. You do deserve to be here. This strive for perfectionism by this tech world can go and take a long walk off a short bridge. And if you're in the middle and you struggle to, even when you have to put up the, and the only time I put up the mask, guys, is for protection. Because it's not a safe world for autistics. Guys, it's not safe. You think you're safe. Trust me, you're not. As a 51-year-old, I'll tell you that now. Please put your safety first. Please make sure that you communicate everything you feel to your person. We all have our person, don't we, autistics, you know? And when that person goes, it's like, what? At the moment, I've got one person and I'm terrified because I've always had a family. It's really hard because autistics need that person. They're our guide. They're our interpreter. And we're fine if they're just somewhere around, you know? We're fine. But it just concerns me that, the misinformation on autism is just ridiculous. But good on you, those who are speaking out about the different levels of where we are on the spectrum. Everyone's talking about the different spectrum areas, and I think that's important because the biggest lies that are being told is that someone's autism is unique, or it's not a competition. No one's is unique, really. We are all the same. We just have personalities, which is what we're born with for traits and what we've had nurtured into us as traits. And then we are born in different generations. We also have different environmental expectations. Some don't have expectations and some do. So sometimes that can be the defining factor whether they succeed or not. Sorry, if you wrap them in cotton wool too much, they're not going to learn anything. But be there to catch them. But I don't think wrapping them in cotton wool and keeping them home is a good thing. And if you're cocooning at the moment, and you're most likely a higher functioning autistic, it's okay to cocoon. And then so long as you come back out at some point, because I just know there's a beautiful world out there that you deserve to be a part of. Don't let them push you out. Okay? Stand there in your truth. I'm autistic. I can do this job. And I'm here. Okay, bitches? I'm here. And I'm not listening to your rubbish. Okay? Because gossip is Bible. It's not cool. It's not cool. I prefer to be on Jesus' side personally. Gossip is bad. And if you're being bullied or you have been bullied, I hear you. It doesn't stop at school. In fact, I will continue to experience bullying forward. I will. But I have to make sure that I get myself through that, because unfortunately that's my normal. And so if it's your normal too, just know that we are not alone. There's a lot of us out there. And not just autistics. Many people with disability get bullied as adults by other adults. You're not alone. So hang in there, and I hope you can relate to me, and I hope I brought some comfort. But these are my feelings on the truth on autism, because, and when I say shut up, neurotypicals, sit down and listen to the autistic, I really want that taken in a light-hearted way. You know you're an autistic person. I know that. I'm just saying, sometimes just weigh up what we say, those of us that can speak. Yeah, we fumble through to explain it. Maybe we don't even explain it properly, but combine it with your knowledge instead of just dismissing everything we say. Because it's hurtful to an autistic that just because we can speak, people try and make us invisible again. And from someone who learnt to speak so hard, don't take that away from me. My words mean something. And my words need to be heard, because autistics need to know the truth. I don't want future autistics, current autistics, thinking the wrong thing and beating themselves up because of the wrong narratives. So, kick ass autistics, high-fiving you, go out, conquer, and be you. And you don't have to mask. So if you're like me and you just can't mask because it just fails, it's okay. If you get punished, it's just disability discrimination. It's ableism. I get it for my physical conditions, don't worry. It is not just an autism thing. People are just unkind. So be kind to others, because we need to make up for those unkind ones, okay? Smile at strangers, share the love, stick together. Till the next video. Bye.